Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. Again, my name is Courtney Austin, and I'm the Marketing Coordinator here at AIM. Today's webinar will be recorded and later posted on our website. This does mean that all attendees will be automatically muted so that we can get a quality recording. If you have any questions throughout the webinar, feel free to type them into our chat box, and we'll have one of our marketers reach out to you individually after to go ahead and get those answered. Our next webinar is next Wednesday, May the 4th at 9 a.m. Pacific time. It'll be presented by Carlos on a new carrier that AIM has available for MAPD plans. So with that, Nick, I'll go ahead and hand it on over to you so we can get started. Go ahead and take it away.
All right, thank you, Courtney, and good morning, everyone. First off, I want to thank you all for being with us this morning. I know you're all very busy, and there's always something that is needing your attention, so I want to thank you for giving us your time. We won't try and take up too much of your 9 a.m. hour, but we definitely want to highlight some of these DI carriers and why you should add them to your lineup. So without any further delay, let's get started. Okay, so for today's agenda, we are going to be talking about why your clients need DI, why you should be selling DI, the great carriers we have, as well as the benefits with working with us. The first thing I want to mention is that DI's popularity is on the rise of late, and you want to be a part of that newly refound surge. So first off, why your clients need DI. The need is there. Insurance is a good idea. I think we all can agree. People, without even thinking, sign up for life insurance, car insurance, and various other types to protect them financially. Life insurance is a great way to help loved ones pay for expenses when you're gone. Car insurance is essential if you're in a car accident, you need help to repair or replace your mode of transportation. We drive our cars to work every day. But what about when you get hurt? And what about when you can't get to work for a length of time? You're unable to work for a length of time. The bills and everyday expenses keep coming in even if you're unable to pay for them. It's a scary thought not being able to pay your bills. Most folks live paycheck to paycheck, so just imagine having to go just 1 month without any money coming in due to accident or illness. People always like to believe the money will come somehow. This is where DI can really save your client's headache and financial hardship. Headaches and financial hardship is a massive understatement in some people's cases, though. If we all think about it for a second, we all probably know someone who was negatively affected by an injury or prolonged illness that not only took them out of work for a little while, but changed their lives forever. While doing research for this webinar today, I came across 2 quick stories that I'd like to share. Today's presentation is going to be very story heavy because that is one of the keys in selling DI. The first story is of a lady named Vicky. Vicky was a customer service rep for a major company for over 10 years. She was a model employee, climbing up the ranks, being promoted regularly, and looking forward to continued success. She loved her job and was great at it, and planned to make this her career. One day, however, she was in an accident. Even though it was non-life-threatening, this stopped her career and everything she had planned. She was unable to return to work for over 9 months. Vicky's husband was self-employed, and the reduction of income was a strain on the family. After 9 months, Vicky was finally able to return to her company, first working only a few days a week until she could physically handle a full work week. However, in her absence, the company had filled her previous position, and Vicky had to take a position that was a few levels below the one she had been before the accident in terms of salary and level of responsibility. While Vicky had regained her health, the time she took off because of the accident had affected her career path and overall earnings. She often wonders how much time the 9 months away from her job had set her back financially. Although Vicky was fortunate enough to overcome the physical effects of her accident, the financial impact is still evident. So in that story, even though the accident wasn't life-threatening or left its permanent mark on Vicky, she lost the standing she had with her company and suffered long-term because of that. The second story I want to share is about a guy named Joshua. An accident at work left Joshua without the use of his legs and left his family with tremendous financial strain. Ever since he was young, Joshua had a talent for mechanical work. After graduating from high school, Joshua soon found work at a local elevator repair company, and he quickly mastered the trade and excelled in his job. One day, after 5.5 years on the job, a dumbwaiter fell on him, dropping more than 700 pounds on his back. At first, he was not in a lot of pain, but he soon lost the feeling in his legs and was rushed to the emergency room. At the hospital, doctors confirmed Joshua's initial fears that he had suffered total spinal injury and would be confined to a wheelchair for the rest of his life. While he has been aided by workers' compensation, his disability has had significant financial stress on his family. After the accident, his mother temporarily left work to take care of him, further lowering the family's income during a time in which medical expenses were rapidly piling up. It took 3 years until, through tremendous determination, rehabilitation, and a positive spirit, Joshua was finally able to get around on his own again. Looking back on the accident, Josh said, "You never know from one day to the next what will happen." He continues, "Being in my 20s, at the time of my accident, protecting myself from disability was not on my mind. Protecting yourself from disability should be on everyone's mind, regardless of age." Those two stories were just to highlight the importance of getting coverage, no matter your occupation, standing, or age. Like in the first story, we can see DI could have helped short term, and in the second story, more of a long-term thing is more appropriate. Everyone needs the protection. Even though most of those on the force don't have DI, the need has never been higher. COVID is a big part of this. Job uncertainty has never been higher than it has been in the last couple of years with everything going on. Some people are recognizing that they might not be able to go to work. And once again, we have said time and time again, the world just doesn't stop because of this. Let's take a quick second to think about all the things that we have to spend our money on, not the things we like to buy and all the fun things. Let's bring to mind the necessities that we have each and every month. Mortgage payments, groceries, utilities. What about if your client has kids? Now we're doubling, tripling these costs. Kids eat a lot and they never turn lights off, right? Your car payment, saving for retirement, all these things and more are necessary expenses each and every month. How can your client afford any of this without income? One combative argument could be that your client already has DI through their employer. How much? Chances are it won't be enough to help them when they're not working. Heck, they might not even know the amount of income they're protected for. Too much is never enough when talking about protecting your finances. And what if they lose their job for any reason and have to switch employers? New employees take time to qualify for benefits. What happens if something were to happen in the meantime? This is when standalone DI is important. Now is your opportunity to get them to really think about these scenarios. Some folks think of DI as an income protection or paycheck protection insurance. It is quite literally insurance to protect your money and make sure it keeps coming in. This is a great pitch for your clients. Make sure that their income is protected and keep that income continuing even if they can't work. So now we will look at why, as an agent, you should sell DI. For the agents out there that have never sold DI, one of the best things about this type of insurance is that everyone needs it. This is a fantastic product to add to your lineup because of that. Everyone can benefit from having DI, as we just spoke about, but they might not know it. Again, it is your job to put it into perspective. One thing with dealing with any type of client is changing how they think. You have to get them away from the thought process of, I can't afford it. A couple things can be said about that. In general, people like to spend their money on the fun things, the entertainment in our lives. Nothing wrong with that. That's one of the best things about having money is buying the cool stuff. But if they were to relegate some of that money from the jet skis and the 4K home theater systems and put a few of those dollars towards an insurance that would protect the rest of their money to ensure the fun can continue, suddenly they can afford insurance. It's a funny thing. And DI is certainly more affordable than most people think it is, which is always an attraction when speaking with clients. The number of self-employed individuals is higher now than ever, and again, COVID had a hand in this, but the exact reasons are inconsequential. The main thing to pay attention to is that self-employed folks are great candidates for DI, which opens up for you yet another roster of potential clients. Also, the commissions are fairly high, and since the need is there, your clients will be there. Higher commissions with a high issue rate is always a good thing. Okay, so now we're going to talk about a few DI basics. Pretty standard stuff here. First off, your clients choose their monthly benefit with a 60% max of their current salary or wages. They choose a term limit and elimination period. One thing to keep in mind when choosing an elimination period is that once the income stops, most people will be out of money within a month. So something like a 180-day waiting period isn't really going to be a great choice. It is one of the options, however. So whatever elimination period your client chooses, you can almost guarantee that that time period would still be less than if they were waiting on a settlement of legal actions or waiting for the state to start their benefits. You never want to be at the mercy of someone else. Private insurance puts you in control. Speaking of state benefits, everyone here can agree that being on the state is not where you want to be. Both of these carriers we're about to speak about have great many riders to choose from, including their own version of ONOC, which will protect you at a level of income you are accustomed to having. State help barely allows for people to get by. We have a bit of a story time coming up at the end of the webinar where I will expand on this, but yeah, SSI and SSDI are a nightmare that your clients want no part of. So a rider like ONOC will protect them and continue to pay the same level of income despite income earned by another occupation or source of income. So this is a huge selling point, and you can absolutely save someone's finances and lifestyle with something like that. All right, so speaking of the carriers, we are now going to take a look at our two main DI companies we work with, the Great Mutual of Omaha and the wonderful Assurity. Both these companies have been in the DI space for years and years, and their name recognition packs a punch. So first, we're going to start with Mutual of Omaha. I don't need to tell you guys about Mutual of Omaha and how they are synonymous with all things insurance. For a lot of people, Mutual of Omaha is insurance. They have an AM Best rating and have been stable for over 15 years with no rate increases. Their Mutual Income Solution product is right there with the best of their products. And we will now take a quick look at some of those highlights. Issue ages 1861 with a max monthly benefit of $20K per month. Guaranteed renewability to age 67, conditionally renewable until 75. Simplified underwriting is available up to $6,000 monthly benefit with full underwriting above that. And if you're already a Mutual of Omaha agent, you will have access to their SPA portal, where quoting DI is extremely simple and easy to understand for both you and your clients. Very quick and simple process to get the ball rolling. Like with all their products, DI has the flexibility your clients want. The amount of riders their Income Solutions product has is pretty darn impressive again. And once again, check out their version of ONOC called the True Regular Occupation Rider. And as always, if you're wanting more information on these products, if these riders, the ins and outs, we'll be more than happy to answer those questions or send out any information you might want. One quick addition to that, Mutual of Omaha wanted to spread the word that May is Disability Insurance Awareness Month. So this presents a great opportunity for agents to talk with their clients about their DI plans and Mutual's great solutions. Mutual is also putting on a contest that goes from May 1st to July 31st with an assortment of prizes and gift cards. Again, it's an incentive for you, and this is just another reason to talk with your clients about DI. So give us a call to learn more about that. Pretty cool. All right, so now we're going to have a look at a surety's plan. A surety has 130 years of experience in the insurance world, so needless to say, they know what they're doing, right? They have the pedigree, they have the history. These plans, when compared to mutual, are very similar. And one thing to know is that both mutual and a surety have a 15% discount available for business owners. Again, more reason why you should be talking to small business owners about their DI. A surety has both paper apps and e-apps available with a really special instant decision feature when using the e-app. This means that if the app is clean and the labs and that kind of thing aren't needed, your client will get a decision on the coverage right then and there. Additionally, they have a graded DI product as well. So for those individuals who might not medically qualify for their Century Plus product, there's a backup option in their graded product. Okay, so here's a quick side-by-side comparison between the two companies, just in case you're wanting to take a screenshot for quick reference later on. I'm a big fan of screenshots, they're helpful. As you can see, both companies have similar features and are great products. Comparable issue ages, max monthly, elimination, benefit period. Underwriting, you will want to pay attention to as well. It's all right there for you. Give you a second there to nab that if you want. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how we here at AIM can help you sell DI. First off, we want to help you start the conversation with your clients. Some of our staff here at AIM actually sell DI themselves, so they know the ins and outs about getting in front of clients and making that sale. Don Erickson and Mike Anderson here in the office are some of the names you might know and have been writing agents for quite a while now. They both have had great success both behind the phone and in person with clients. They're not only great marketers, but they actually write and sell insurance as well. So call us and call them. We're always here to help, and we have the experience and expertise to back up what we're saying. And as always, if for any reason you have questions that one of us don't know the answer to off the top of our head, we will find the answer for you. Very seldomly is there an end of the road, I can't help you answer. We will find the answers for you. We'll get back to you. Our tools are at your disposal as well. Use us as a resource for sure, but I also urge you to check out our website. We have more information on these great carriers and DI forms and brochures to download, all with just the click of your mouse. Our website has back webinars and is a great resource of information. If ever you have a question after working hours or on the weekend and we can't be reached, what you need might be on the website, so check it out. All right, earlier, we heard about two cases where DI could have saved people from financial ruin, but we don't have to go online to read about tragic stories. We all know someone who has been hurt and unable to work where DI could have helped. Personally, a very close family member of mine had something happen that forced them to stop working, and it was a downward spiral from there. They went on disability and state assistance, which is never a place you want to be. The state paid them a fraction of what they used to be earned on the job. So there's the financial hardship we talked about earlier. Monetary woes were just the start of their problem, though. Not being able to pay their bills and being laid up at home, not being able to live life anymore really started to take a toll on their mental health as well. So just think about it. Say you do a job you love most of your adult life. You have a routine every day that you enjoy. Sure, we oftentimes grumble about going to work, but I think if we really stand back for a minute and reflect, some of us would be lost without having that structure. It is our livelihoods, and at the end of the day, we like it. Now imagine just one day, all that is taken from you. Not only is that devastating by itself, the lifestyle change, but you still have to somehow find a way to continue living and continue paying to live. Everything costs money. This family member of mine, the illness that just rocked their world, they have to pay for that too. But instead of being able to get the proper care for themselves, both physically and mentally, They just became, sadly, another statistic. If this person had the protection and had the help when it was needed, I think the story could have ended a bit better. SSI and SSDI is not where you want to be. It's rough. They only give you enough money to scrape by, in my opinion. This family member of mine went from making proper money to something like $700 a month. A once a month flat payment of $700. Think about how little money that is to live on. We shouldn't have to depend on the state to keep us afloat, nor was it designed that way. So we don't want to get there. The second story I wanted to mention from the office is that of a massive stroke that turned someone's world upside down. Aunt Helen was born with a hole in her heart that went undetected until one day at age 45, it caused her to have a massive stroke. Helen spent the next 2 to 3 months in Harborview Hospital undergoing intensive physical therapy, literally having to relearn everything. Walking, talking, everything had to be retaught. After she was rehabilitated enough to go home, she still had to see a specialist once a week. Before her stroke, Helen worked for Parks and Rec, and for a short time after she recovered, she went back to work. For a short time, she tried to go back to her old life, but sadly it didn't last. She couldn't perform her daily duties and was forced into medical retirement at the age of 47. At the time of her stroke, Helen had kids in both college and high school. So imagine her life for a minute if you can. She is a middle-aged gal who has kids in high school and college, who is now spending months on end in the hospital, away from home, relearning how to walk and talk. She has lost her job and forced to retire. Her husband had to take time off work to care for her, so income was halted there as well. And even now, some 15 years after the fact, she is still feeling the repercussions. Because her mobility is still limited, she has fallen multiple times since then and has broken her arm and wrist on 3 separate occasions. Helen, her husband, and the whole family's lives changed that day. Having DI couldn't have prevented the stroke, of course, but it most certainly could have helped financially. When you're dealing with life-altering events, the last thing you should be worrying about is money, so DI can help you with that. All right, so we are about ready to wrap up for this morning, but a few takeaways before anything else is to get appointed. You can't help your clients if you aren't appointed. That is the number one thing. For agents who are already in good standing with Mutual of Omaha for any of their other products, adding DI is a very easy process. Getting appointed with the surety is simple as well. I'm a big believer in getting appointed to sell well before you need to, so I would implore everyone listening, even if you don't have DI clients at the moment, get appointed so that when you do, there will be no delay in helping them get the coverage they need. Next is to think about who you want your first 3 clients to be. The ideal age range for DI clients is around 35 to 50-year-olds. Remember, we all know people who would benefit greatly from having DI insurance. Think about the stories that we shared today. Young, old, business owners, worker bees, injuries and accidents can happen to anyone at any time. Friends, family members, colleagues, think about 3 people you want to get in front of. DI isn't lead-oriented. The potential clients are all around you, and oftentimes the network of people we have is overlooked. Think about people you go to church with, your gym buddies, your spouse's friends. These are your leads. Think about who would benefit the most from this type of coverage and start the conversation. Much like the webinar today, it is story-driven, and if you speak about your own experiences, that will only help you when the time comes to sell. Also, something else that is a good idea, especially if you're new to selling DI, is practice with a trusted confidant or advisor. Block out a half hour in your evening or over the weekend and have a sit down with your spouse or family member, someone that you can be honest with your presentation. This way, if there's something you need to work on, you'll now be able to fix it before you get in front of an actual client. So so learn from their feedback. Another helpful thing is to have DI yourself. An old adage when selling any type of product is, why would someone buy something from you if you yourself don't have it? Write yourself. Not only so you too have the protection in case something were to happen, but also so you can truthfully speak from experiences when talking to your clients. And one final thing is to remember that May is Disability Insurance Awareness Month. So once again, this is another door opener when starting the conversation with your clients. Also, be sure to give us a call for the details on that contest Mutual Omaha is putting on. Okay, well, that about does it for this morning's presentation. I hope it was informative for everyone in attendance today, and you're now both comfortable with selling DI and excited to do so. Remember, this is one of those insurances that no matter your clientele, this is a product that they need. As always, we'll be making our follow-up calls later on today and tomorrow to get feedback and answer any questions you might have. If anything comes up in the meantime, feel free to give us a call. 800-672-7202. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.